We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
Right. There we go. Bitcoin pumping, about to hit 98,000, and that's because Manny Navarro. We'll see if we hit 98. We need to hit 100, Manny. There's $2 billion of shorts that will get liquidated, and that goes right in, and that'll juice us to like 105, 106. So we're on the rebound, my brother. How you doing?
Doing great. Looking forward to a fun summer. My daughter wrapped up her soccer season last night, so hoping to hit the water a little bit more often now that it's getting hotter, brother.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Get that water, that beach water a little warmer, because damn, dude. you go like in March or April, and that shit is cold.
It's cold.
It really doesn't warm up to like early August or something, By then it's okay, it gets decent, It's still cold in June and July almost, man. All right, let's get rocking. Let's talk about the transfers. We had about like 6 of them. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I don't think they got any superstars per se, but they got guys that can help fill in and provide depth, which is kind of what they needed more than anything else. They picked up 2 receivers. One of them's an ex-BYU kid this is going to be 7th year of college football. He started 22 games in his career. Keelan Marion. We talked about how young the receiver room was. Only one legitimate starter that they picked up from LSU and CJ Daniels in December. And so they needed to add more experience. It was a very young room. They got Keelan Marion from BYU, and then they picked up Tony Johnson, a kid who played for FAU previously and spent last season at Cincinnati, 48 catches, close to 500 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns, 19 career starts. Look, none of these guys are going to be special. These aren't NFL guys, in my opinion. But in college football, you need experience in your receiver room. And Miami is talented, but really, really young. And you don't know what those guys are going to do in year number 1 when they get the opportunity to start, catching passes and being a part of this offense. So it was important to get Carson Beck, at least some guys who have played at this level. Marion and Johnson both played at the power 4 level. CJ Daniels has played at the power 4 level. And then now you got a really young receiver room behind them of guys that don't have to have the pressure on them to deliver. So I thought that was important. And then on the defensive side, they went out and they picked up a safety yesterday, a guy who, again, this isn't a superstar, but it's a guy who has experience. Jacoby Thomas spent last season at Tennessee, spent the majority of his career at Middle Tennessee State. Prior to that, he was a backup at Tennessee, played close to 300 snaps last year. But he's got 14 career starts under his belt at Middle Tennessee. So he's not a green player whatsoever, close to 1,500 career snaps. We talked about the safety position needing to bring in a body. No guarantee that Miami is going to land their number 1 target at safety. So Jacoby Thomas, I thought, was a nice plan B. And then at linebacker, Kamal Bonner, a kid who started 7 games last year at NC State, can come in and be your starting middle linebacker, replace Kiko Mauinoa. Again, not putting the pressure on, second-year guys that maybe aren't ready to be the starter yet. You can ease them in. Bonner is going to buy them some time.
By the way, a little lasagna, maybe a little sauteed chicken, a little fettuccine alfredo, baked ziti, parmesan. I mean, the options are endless at BigCheeseMiami.com. Go check it out. It's at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. It is an institution, folks. All right. It's been around for over 40 years. And, Billy and Gary started this with a vision. And, God bless Billy. We just lost him a few weeks ago. And Gary is obviously keeping it on and keeping the tradition going. And if you're a UM fan, a lot of you are since you watch this segment, the walls at the Big Cheese are like a Hall of Fame. So make sure you check it out. 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. Tell them that Big O sent you. All right. Who else are the Hurricanes after, Manny?
Yeah, I think they're still trying to tinker with the defense. I think they're pretty much done with the offense now. One name I forgot to mention as far as pickups, Chamar Brown, a kid who comes over from North Dakota State. He'll be the number 3 running back, elite runner as a redshirt freshman last year, won the Jerry Rice Award given to the FCS Best Young Player. So he's another running back. But in terms of who they're still after, I think it's all defensive guys. AJ Halsey is a safety from Houston, led them with 7 interceptions last year. He's visiting LSU on Sunday. Big asking price. I think he wants close to $2 million to come play at Miami. I think the Hurricanes are kind of like, look, dude, we're not going to pay you $2 million. So see if anybody else honestly gives you what we're offering. So that's going on with him. And then there's a linebacker from Rutgers, Mohamed Toure. He didn't play last season, but was a starter in 2023, 93 tackles, 10 for loss, 5 sacks. A guy that I think, obviously, the new defensive coordinator here is familiar with, coached him at Rutgers previously, and then one other guy that they're still targeting, Colton Hood, a cornerback out of Colorado. They did lose a cornerback in the transfer portal in Emmanuel Carnley when he left Miami this spring after coming over from Arizona. So, again, just another piece to sort of replace a body. Again, none of these guys are superstars, but Halsey is the best one without question. I think he's the guy who comes in and makes an impact at safety, but the rest of them, everybody else we've talked about, the best players transfer in December. They don't transfer in the spring. If they're transferring in the spring, they're looking for more money, but they're not premier guys. And so to me, Halsey is the one guy I look at and say, okay, he's a big time difference maker. I think he would, be able to help them out.
All right. By the way, the draft. What'd you think of the Canes and where they went and where they landed and all that kind of stuff? What caught your eye out of all of that?
Well, I mean, look, Arroyo ended up going in the second round, right? We talked about that last Friday before it happened. You nailed that one. The third day you ended up getting 5 guys that got picked. I was a little surprised that one of them was Tyler Barron because he didn't necessarily have a great second half of the season last year for Miami. Damian Martinez,
raw
yeah,
talent. But I think they took him because they looked at him and they said, this kid's got God-given ability. Can we make him a consistent football player? That's what I think, because Tyler's got talent. You know what I'm saying? But you're right.
yeah.
He didn't that second half. Yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I was glad to see Borregales got picked as the best kicker in college football. I thought he was last year. He's a guy who I think is a bona fide pro kicker. And then Damian Martinez, obviously super talented running back. We talked about the huge value somebody was going to get because of how loaded the running back position was. I thought that was good to see as well. In the end, look, Jalen Rivers got picked. We talked about him being a legitimate NFL guy.
I was wrong. He got picked. I was wrong there. He got picked a lot later than I thought, bro. I thought he would pick a little bit earlier. What did he get picked? Like 6th round or something?
Fifth round. But again, he wasn't dominant. The thing with Jalen was he wasn't dominant. His gift is that he can play so many different positions for you, and he could start inside, outside, play center for you if needed. So in the end, he's a value pick in the 5th round for the Bengals. But look, 7 Hurricanes drafted. Was it Xavier Restrepo? We knew the moment he ran a 4.8 40 that was over, right? So I wasn't necessarily surprised by anything.
But I got to tell you something. If there's a place where he might have a chance to make a roster, Tennessee's the place because he knows the quarterback. The quarterback knows him. So that's going to be an advantage that for the bottom tier of the receivers that are fighting for those last spots, he's going to have an advantage over him. His real disadvantage in the NFL is that Xavier Restrepo cannot be used on special teams. He does not possess the skill for special teams. And if you're going to be, which is what he is in the NFL, a 5th receiver, a 6th receiver, dude, you have to be a stud special teamer. And that's going to be an issue for him where he probably could end up on the practice squad where they use him in a pinch in a week where they need a 4th receiver or something like that.
Right. No, and look, he's, to me, the thing about Xavier is he will play special teams, right? He will go down and be a flyer. He can catch punts. There's value to his game. Yes, he's not fast. We knew that. But he knows how to get open and he knows how to work with Cam Ward. And that's the kind of guy, like you said, that can have a roster spot somewhere in the NFL, especially in Tennessee, because there's so much opportunity there.
Yeah. It's just he's got to make it as a receiver because his athleticism will not translate to special teams in the NFL, unfortunately. It's just you got to be a hell of a lot more athletic to be a flyer there, in the one more thing. What's the latest recruiting wise?
Yeah, look, Miami, one of the guys that they were after on the offensive line, Kenny Pepe, the 5-star offensive tackle from IMG Academy, committed to USC recently. So people look at that maybe as a sign that Miami's maybe going all in on Jackson Cantwell, at least financially. I've told you guys months ago, he was represented by Drew Rosenhaus. We know Rosenhaus, his company loves to sign Hurricanes and represent Hurricanes. And so to me, I think he's asking for $2 million. I think Miami's going to pay it because they need a bona fide 5-star left tackle to come in and replace this unit next year. And he's the kind of guy who can come in here and start right away. Both of his parents were Olympians, by the way. This kid, Jackson Cantwell, out of Missouri. His dad won a silver medal in the 2008 Olympics. His mom qualified to the Sydney Olympics in 2020. So obviously comes from a strong gene pool and legitimate number 1 player in the country. And then, as far as other guys, look, we've entered May. So now we officially enter the month where guys start taking official visits at the end. The first recruiting weekend, it will be May 30th for Miami. They're going to have a ton of kids here, big time kids. And so, we can start looking forward to that here in the weeks ahead.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter, Manny_Navarro. And of course, subscribe to The Athletic. We will catch you next week, my friend. Have a great weekend and enjoy yourself. Thank you, sir.
Same here, brother. Take care.
You got it. BigCheeseMiami.com, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue for some delicious Italian food. And remember, the pasta is shipped directly from Italy and cooked fresh daily. That is awesome. BigCheeseMiami.com.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.